Hello and welcome to a timeless synchronicity reading for the Myers-Briggs type ENFJ. My name is Brandon Curtis Demery and I am an MBTI certified practitioner who has created these readings for the MBTI community to better understand the individuation process, cognitive functions and how to flex them, and also a intuitive exercise for intuitive dominance so that you can better understand the aforementioned, how the cognitive functions work, but also how you can begin to use your function of intuition to better grow your ability to notice synchronicity in your life, which for me is all about tapping in and connecting to your higher self. Now, what is synchronicity? Well, it's a term that Carl Jung actually coined. It's akin to coincidence, what you might call now coincidence in your life. There is no such thing. And Jung, through his individuation process, after coming up with the theory of cognitive functions, discovered that reality is replete with synchronicity. If we can tap into our intuitive selves and find balance in our cognitive functions and our energies, we can take notice of these synchronicities, which are guideposts or signs that we are practicing discernment and staying in our own lane and really truly following our true north destiny and path. So I will be using the Synchronicity Oracle, which is comprised of this deck of cards and 57 images mixed and repeated here in these cards. I'm going to pull 3 to find out what's going on in your energy, what synchronicities are appearing in your life. And not all the messages and information that come out to you in this reading is going to be meant for you. This is the very idea of discernment. Understanding the synchronicities in this reading with what's going on in your own life will resonate or it will not resonate. In other words, if you are triggered by a message in this reading, and by triggered I mean you're actively participating in this. This is not going to be a shocking trigger or a painful one because it is an intuitive exercise. That trigger, I mean to explain as your intuition saying, hey, this is related to something that's going on in your life. Even though you may not be able to rationalize, because intuition is irrational. Our judging functions are rational. You may not be able to rationalize these impulses, these triggers that you feel. But know that the more you practice receiving those intuitive triggers, the more you will be able to cognitively flex that intuitive, that introverted intuition in your auxiliary position. So as an ENFJ, your cognitive egoic stack is extroverted feeling, introverted intuition, extroverted sensing, and introverted thinking. You should know that your shadow function stack is that of the INFP. And you should know that your subconscious cognitive stack is that of the ISTP, with your superego cognitive stack being that of the ESTJ. Carl Jung developed cognitive functions theory. And once he did this, Catherine Briggs and Isabel Myers further developed it and through Jung's own individuation process, this process of going into your shadow functions and retrieving that those precious gems that have lain dormant in our subconscious, in our shadow egoic self, and he brought them out, thereby changing his egoic cognitive functions flexibility. This is the individuation process, this dark night of the soul, this ego death process that Jung developed. And Jung went through on his own. Once he started tapping into his shadow self, that's when synchronicity started appearing in his life, which clued him into, hey, I'm doing some work here that is actually a benefit for my inner child, a benefit for getting rid of parts of our egoic self that no longer serve us, and keep that intuitive, childlike energy in our shadow self. An overactive ego is going to keep suppressed that creativity and that joy and that love of the inner child. So again, this is an intuitive exercise that I hope you enjoy. I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Synchronicity Oracle deck to find out what's going on in your energy. You can think of this as current energy, past, present, future. But if you do, know that time doesn't exist. Or a better way to say it would be past, present, and future happens now. And the more that we can stay present in the moment, the easier it is for us to look back into the past or drop into our shadow functions, or move forward into our forward-thinking future self. As long as we stay present. Thank you. Okay, the first card out, and what I'm looking for are the connecting images. That was third, this is second. The moon. So in your root chakra, this is the chakra or the first card where, for the purposes of this reading, the root chakra is all about safety and security. It's earth energy that grounds us and sets the foundation for the remaining chakras to be in line, to be balanced. The root chakra is followed by the sacral chakra, which is water energy. It's feminine in nature. We each have a feminine and masculine within ourselves. And the root chakra image that connects to the sacral chakra, or the recent past to the present moment, is this moon sign. The moon represents intuition. The moon represents Cancerian energy, for it is the luminary that rules over the 4th house of Cancer. So you might be a Cancer, but this is feminine energy. The 4th house is where we hold our feminine emotional body. Think of it as that emotional home we have, or that emotional place in each of us that we call home, that we feel that we're home when we're in that energy. No matter where we may be in the 3D world, that inner space of nurturing and intuition and feminine energy, that mother energy, is what we call home. Now the sacral connects to the solar plexus, which is masculine fire energy, and the connecting image from the 2 moons to this card is The Eye of Ra, or Horus, which I really love, being in the solar plexus chakra. Masculine energy, fire energy. This chakra is all about how we express ourselves. So you have an amazing balance of feminine and masculine, which makes sense with your dominant function being a judging function of extroverted feeling. Extroverted feeling is my empath cognitive function. You know, as an ENFJ, you can read people very, very well. You know how they're feeling, what energy is about them. This makes you a great leader, a great host, a great caregiver to the tribe, because that's what Enfj is about. It's extroverted feeling. It's about the tribe. It's about others and being empathic with them. With your auxiliary function of introverted intuition, you use this to actually perceive the tribe, and you perceive their emotions and energies. And this is what makes you a great supervisor or team leader or host in your community. That's excellent. All right. So I hope some of those messages resonate with you. If they don't, or I should say it this way, take only what resonates. And by resonate, I mean it could be even somewhat triggering to hear some of the things I'm saying about how you think and feel and make decisions. But know that trigger is being brought to you by your introverted intuition and your extroverted sensing, so that you can learn to grow those judging functions, those perceiving functions of intuition and sensing, to better help you work with your community, to better help you work with the tribe, and not lose the self, because introverted thinking is your inferior function. My dear ENFJs, and I know many of you, you are amazing leaders. You are community builders. You have really big hearts, but sometimes you take a back seat and you give and give and give and give and don't receive as much back that you're giving out. Which, if you think of it, is quite a challenge for the tribe, because you do give so much. The message I'm getting here is that consider being more self-centered and less giving by putting up boundaries for yourself, for your highest good. Giving yourself the things and the time and the energy that you are expecting to get from giving so much to the tribe. Your inferior function of TI, introverted thinking, is about creating a structure in your own person that is yours, that you can call home in a way, that you can judge to be your place where you build internal boundaries for yourself and others, so that you're not always giving so much as you do, my dear ENFJ. Okay. What deck shall I use? I think I'm going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. So this is it's not the traditional tarot deck. You know what? I'm going to use the traditional tarot deck. 78 cards 44 are minor arcana, 16 are court cards, and then there are 22 major arcana. The major arcana is the story of the hero's journey. It's the story of the individuation process. It's the story of the dark night of the soul. It's how we change. Also in the tarot deck, let me clarify the court cards. The court cards are comprised of, for each element, air, fire, water, and earth, which correspond to swords, wands, cups, and pentacles. Also, so for each element, there's a king and a queen, because we each have a masculine and feminine within each element that we're comprised of. And then there is a knight and a page in the court cards. And then the minor arcana consist of the minor arcana. If the major arcana is the hero's journey, then the minor arcana is where you are right now. It's more day to day and short term. Time doesn't exist. Time is fluid. And that's also something that you should know about these readings. So only take what resonates. Some of these messages here might be happening now for you, or maybe they happened in the recent past, or maybe they're going to happen here in the future. Time is fluid, so take only what resonates, and by doing so, you are building your ability to discern what energy belongs to you and what belongs to others, which is key as an ENFJ, because your dominant function is so much about the other. It's time now for you to consider yourself more, to find a great balance between your relationships, not only with yourself, but with others. So also in the 78 cards of the tarot, you have astrology, you have the signs and the planets, and you also have numerology. All of these things are related. There's great crossover of energy and information. All right, Spirit. I consider myself an astrotheologian. I'm an ENTP, if I haven't mentioned that. Yet my reported type is INTP. I was, for a very long time, without faith. I didn't prescribe to a higher power or a creator or anything like that until I started doing this work. Till I started doing the introspective work of my inferior function, which is introverted sensing. So a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer, a time inside, slowing down my extroverted dominant function of intuition, and taking stock of and getting to know my own personal energy and how it differed from others. Extroverted feeling, your dominant function, is my third function. But I did notice that when I was overextending or codependent, that I would use my dominant function with extroverted feeling when I should have been using it in my auxiliary position. My auxiliary position cognitive function is your inferior function. And once I did that, by learning tarot, by learning about the cognitive functions, that's very TI, introverted thinking, by setting up boundaries for not only myself and others, I was able to replace the extroverted feeling I was using in my auxiliary position, along with my extroverted intuition. That's two extroverted cognitive functions, which I I feel is very codependent energy. So when I did the introspective, I slowed down and did the internal work and took assessment of what was going on in my thinking. That's when I replaced extroverted feeling, which should be in my tertiary function, with introverted thinking. And there was a better balance between my dominant function and my auxiliary function. So first card out, 6 of Swords. This is Aquarius energy, or it could be Libra or Gemini. You might be one of those astrological signs. 6 of Swords. Swords represent thought, communication, ideas, thinking, intellect. Here, 6 is a number of the higher mind. And I see you moving away from and using your TI, moving away from the tribe to gain some clarity, to connect with your higher mind in a quiet environment, safe from groupthink. That's in your root. I said groupthink on the bottom of the deck. That's 9 of Swords. 6 going to 9. I think you, with that 9 of Swords, ooh, look, and 10 of Swords, Gemini energy, completion. I think you're moving away in your life from some relationships that were taxing, or maybe you were in conflict with. This could also be inner conflict. So you're moving away from any egoic inner conflict or conflict with others, their ideas, their thoughts, their communications, and finding solace here, being guided by your higher self to a place where you can disembark and start afresh. I am going to take these 3. So in your sacral chakra, you have the Page of Swords. More swords energy, more thinking energy. The page in the court cards is one of communication. It's my, it's like your king and queen of thought, here thinking, swords, dispatched. Your inner child, that page-like energy to deliver some communication. Or this could be the person that you've left. As you can see here, that this person is looking at your leaving. Or this could be, this energy is you. Understanding that you had to leave. Understanding that you're good with one sword. You're good on your own. And you've recognized, you've identified the time when things get too overwhelming. You're putting yourself or absorbing the thoughts and the feelings and the communication of others to a point where it's overwhelming. So you've had to leave that. In the solar plexus, ooh, love this. 8 of Wands, fire energy, where's the where it should be in the solar plexus. Solar, sun, fire energy. This is your masculine energy. 8 of, you might be a Sagittarius. This is, I think, Venus in Sagittarius. It's a number of, that indicates travel, communication, passion, also conflict in a way, but you are the strong one. You've dispatched these wands. I kind of see them as maybe javelins, or you've sent them off into the air. You've communicated your passions through the air, through this sword energy, maybe to whomever you've left behind. 8 is a number of strength. In the heart space, judgment. This is a major arcana card, card number 20. This is Plutonian energy. This is all about transformation, death and transformation, but for good, for the good, for your good. So yeah, everything is gelling quite well. And it is quite scary, this card. We have the angel and the souls rising from the dead. This is the last judgment. Pluto's an interesting planet, or planetoid, whatever it's classified as. It's actually a binary system. It's a binary system because it has a satellite called Charon. And Pluto is about 18% the size of our moon, and Charon is about 1/3 of the size of Pluto. Pluto is comprised of methane, ice, and other very toxic, dangerous elements. And then and gases and whatnot, chemicals. And then its satellite is hydrogen ice. And an interesting thing about the relationship in this binary system is that through gravitational forces, it does, its satellite, Pluto's satellite Charon, expels hydrogen ice, which actually falls on the planet Pluto. If you want a good look at the planet Pluto, you can go to my website, Entpgathering, and you'll see right there on the home page, Pluto in the foreground with its satellite Charon in the background. I offer up services in counseling people in and through the individuation process. I call it Plutonian transpersonal individuation. And I combine cognitive functions theory with your numerology, with your astrology. I also calculate, and I'll share with you numerology as it is connected to the so-called Enneagram. All of these things I combine to help you better understand the seemingly disparate parts of yourself. I help you understand your INFP self. I help you understand your ISTP self and your ESTJ self, as well as your egoic ENFJ self. In your throat chakra, what truths are you speaking? The throat chakra is ruled by Taurus, earth energy. I'm a triple Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Oh, and if I haven't mentioned, Pluto rules over the sign of Scorpio. Pluto is about transformation. Think fiery phoenix energy. Scorpio is also ruled by the planet Mars, which is masculine fire energy. Here in your solar plexus, with this Wands card, 8 of Wands. Scorpio rules the 8th house of our zodiac. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of fiery phoenix energy in this reading for you, ENFJ. A lot of transformation. Amazing work, because the first card out was TI, and that's your inferior function. So you are definitely in a process of change and healing and transformation. This is awesome. All right. Yeah. In your throat space, Gemini energy, swords, more thinking. Gemini rules the 3rd house. Mercury, the planet of communication and the swiftest planet. It only takes 88 days, 8. More synchronicity in this reading. It takes 88 days to circle the orbit, the sun. It is about communicating intellect and communication in general. It's masculine. Um, and here in this 10 of Swords, 10 is a number of completion, an ending, yet at the same time a beginning. So you're the 6 of Swords energy, and then the Page of Swords, that's 7 swords to 10 swords. Total of 17 swords, which is the Star card in the Major Arcana, number 17. That's all about healing and regeneration. It's Isis energy, it's Venusian energy, it's Aphrodite, it's the water bearer, it's Aquarius. So most definitely, with this Judgment and then the 10 of Swords, there is an ego death that you have successfully performed. And that's part of the individuation process. A necessary part is killing off our egoic self in order to make space for when we dive into our shadow and retrieve those gifts from our inner child, we can replace them, bring them out into our a better balanced and healthy, happy egoic energy, self. Life is one of constant change, and I feel that you are most definitely flowing with life right now. And in these times, it's really, really tough to do this work. But also, I think, the United States right now is going through a Pluto return. Pluto, if Mercury takes 88 days to orbit around the sun, Pluto takes 248 years. So it is in the place in our solar system in relation to the Earth that it was when our nation was founded. It's about transformation. This is a transformation of the financial markets, societal norms. There's a death and rebirth process. A lot of judgment going against those who would seek to oppress or to keep us blinded to inevitable change that must come. Third eye, the Emperor, masculine energy, Mars energy. Fourth card of the Major Arcana. 4 is a number of balance and strength for the self. Think the 4 elements or the 4 seasons, 4 chambers of the heart. It's everywhere. This is Aries energy, Mars energy. This is somebody who's taking action, who is reflecting on the work that they've done, this ego death. Moving from the Page of Swords with the 8 of Wands, passing through judgment, killing off part of your ego, has birthed this masculine energy in you where, my dear ENFJ, when you're in that masculine energy, you're no longer overgiving where you should not be. You in this transformational work that our ego goes through, our spirit goes through. Well, I'll speak from personal experience. I tend to, with extroverted intuition, I tend to bounce between extremes. I'm not picking that up with you so much as I think you've just stepped into your power, setting boundaries for the self and for your community. This is awesome. All right, crown chakra, Page of Pentacles. And the crown works with the sacral chakra, and in the sacral space, you have the Page of Swords. So you have air energy, thought, intellect, communication with grounded earth energy of Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. The pages I read tarot and interpret as your inner child or this newfound part of your ego that you've built, holding and using the energy of the ace of whatever suit. Here, Ace of Swords, which is truth, clarity. Aces in the tarot are either co-created or manifested with your higher self or a higher power, if you believe in that, as I do now. Not always so. I was very much an agnostic or a atheist until I started doing this work and tapped into my spirituality and understood that indeed there is no chance, there is no coincidence that the signs and the symbols that I was receiving in repeating numbers and synchronicities was, I could not dismiss as mere coincidence. So with the Page of Pentacles, Pentacles is the slowest moving of the elements, and it's like slow and steady wins the race. So your feminine self here with the sword energy of the mind, the intellect, and cutting away of old thought patterns has brought you grounded earth energy that you will utilize to manifest abundance in your life, manifest a new home, new relationships that are truly reciprocal and valuable to you. You can actually use it. It's not simply air. It's something tangible, something that can be molded like clay and built up, building up a new foundation in your life. Certainly of spirit. All right. Now what I'd like to do is pull 4 cards and we'll find out specifically what's going on in each of your cognitive functions. So we'll start with the dominant function. Can I get 1 card? Where's my happy ENFJ at right now? Capricorn energy, earth energy, major arcana, the devil. Don't freak out. The devil card represents Saturn and time and structure, discipline. It can be obsessive. And this makes sense with your dominant function being extroverted feeling. Let's be honest, sometimes you can be obsessive about others and about relationships, about community. And this does get you trapped in a mental, emotional, physical loop where you feel tied to your community when this energy is an illusion. It's meant to show you how dependent or obsessive you can become that is not for your highest self. I see this as your masculine and feminine being in this energy, because we each have masculine and feminine in our person, in our energy. And the goal of the individuation process, ego death process, and transformative process here with planet Pluto and this ego death energy in the Ten of Swords is to grow and replace the old with new, with the Page of Pentacles. So in your dominant function, extroverted feeling, you've got the devil. This is about connections to, yes, other people in communities, but also your own connection to your masculine and feminine within you. All right, auxiliary function of introverted intuition. There we go. King of Wands, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. This is the masculine fire energy. More fire, more passion, more, singular, individualistic passion. You're moving from this devil energy, or you're combining, you're stepping up with this very strong masculine spiritual energy that I think is breaking you away from this energy. You're seeing how you were tied to community in a way, or others in a way that is not for your highest good. You've stepped into a position of authority. King of Wands is related to business. You might be a business owner, certainly a leader in the community. And with that lion in the picture, again, Leo energy. Leo rules the 5th house. This is about how we entertain things. 5th house is about the entertainment industry. It's about passion. It's about fatherhood. It's about expression. And it can be highly spiritual. All right. 3rd function, which is sensing. And heads up about your 3rd function. 3 is the first number of all the numbers that can actually create a pattern. So it's very, very creative. And what I counsel my clients to do is remove any polarity from your 3rd function. Meaning, don't think of your 3rd function as extroverted sensing. Think of it as just sensing, which gives you the flexibility, the chance to use it as SI or SE. This, again, grows your flexibility with the cognitive functions. And it opens up a 3rd perceiving function, because you're not only using your introverted intuition to perceive your environment, your external world. Okay, 2, I'll take that, excellent. You're also using sensing to look inward, which is the only place where you could see these ties. And looking inward puts you in a position of power and autonomy in ruling your 5th house, ruling your person. All right, in your sensing, I like this, 6 of Cups. This is Scorpionic energy. And it's one of memory, childhood, reconnecting with the inner child. 6 is a number of the higher mind, the higher self. It could be a past relationship that you're leaving, a relationship with another, or the relationship you once had with this devil energy of being obsessive over others and the tribe. Last but not least, introverted thinking, Queen of Cups, more cups, and Queen of Cups is Cancerian energy, Pisces, or Scorpio. It's your feminine. And I love that you have a King of Wands and a Queen of Cups. Again, showing more balance in your cognitive functions that maybe you've experienced in the past. Or this is now, or this is in the future. If you continue the work that I'm seeing here that you have done or are doing, this moving away from tribe, killing off parts of the ego that no longer serve you with the 10 of Swords, using your TI, lots of swords here. Actually, there's a nice balance. Bottom of the deck, I look at as an overall energy, this is more water energy. Major Arcana, Cancer, and the Moon. You see this chariot that Apollo is in. Or maybe this is... I can't recall at the moment. But in the chariot, which has no wheels, it's a spiritual chariot. It's an intuitive chariot. It's very introverted intuition. Your auxiliary function, a perceiving function. It's like you've hopped into this chariot with no wheels and letting spirit drive you to wherever spirit is driving you, going with the flow of your life and the universe. This is really beautiful. I hope these messages helped. I hope they resonated with you. Remember, just take what resonates and leave the rest. This is a general collective reading, so it's impossible for every single thing to resonate with you. Just take what resonates and explore those emotions, those ideas further to help you and your higher self make the best choices in your life. Please like, please subscribe. I will be doing more for the MBTI community, as well as readings for the 4 elemental signs, each sign of the zodiac. I'll also get into numerology and explore the Enneagram types and explain what that's all about through tarot and divination. All resources, all tools that Carl Jung used himself to help him through the process of ego death and renewal. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next reading.